Hey there, Destiny True fans, it's Jim Sterling here, fellow Destiny True fan and traveller, and of course, the big news this week. The biggest news this week, perhaps in games, is that Destiny 2 has been officially announced. And we're all very excited here at Destiny True Fan HQ as we look at the teaser image that was released. This is all we've got to go on so far, but you really do have to analyse every little detail when you get these things, because you never know what's going to be found within. A slice of pie may only be a slice, but it's still got cherries in it, pastry, sugars, egg, some sort of sauce. What I'm saying ostensibly is that, or essentially, even if you want to use the correct English word for what I intended to communicate, essentially what I'm trying to say is that this image, while only an image, speaks 1,000 words. It's like that saying, a picture is mightier than the sword. So we're gonna get the deep cuts from this. We're gonna pull this picture apart like a crab at Red Lobster, okay? And get to the juicy meat inside. And how juicy is the crab meat in this Destiny 2 teaser image? Let's go through it together, shall we? I've got my shell cracker, let's bust some crab bits. So I think the first thing you notice with this image is the big number 2. It's the most prominent part of the image for me. It's a massive 2. It's numerical. It's large in comparison to any of the text or imagery that accompanies it. It really lets you know that this is a sequel to Destiny. Indeed, it could just look like a sequel to anything. A number 2 doesn't really indicate that it's a sequel to Destiny. However, when you couple it with the word Destiny, which is found in front of the 2, then you really do start to piece together the puzzle. You take a step back, you open your eyes, and you think, okay, I know this is a sequel to Destiny. And it's going to be called Destiny 2, probably, because of the 2. Look at the font choice as well with Destiny. I'm not sure what the font is, the technology just doesn't exist to be able to trace back the font used, but I can tell you, and I can confirm this with 97% accuracy, that it is the same font, or it is font adjacent to the font used in the logo for the original Destiny. I thank you very much. This really does seal the deal that we are in this for the long haul, that this is definitely leading to a sequel for Destiny. This is Destiny 2. It is Destiny again. It's a sequel. And just what is a sequel? Well, Merriam-Webster, the dictionary people, say that a sequel is a consequence or a result, or a subsequent development, or the next installment as of a speech or story, especially a literary, cinematic, or televised work continuing the course of a story begun in a preceding one. Now, what does that tell us? First of all, we have to isolate exactly which definition of sequel we're using, because all of it really makes sense for Destiny 2. In Destiny, there were events, things that happened, occurrences, developments, indeed. That would help us with 2A. A subsequent development would suggest that there are developments subsequent to the things that developed in Destiny. Now, what could those developments contain? Well, they could contain, I'll let you all take time to catch up with me here. That's right. Consequences or results. Now, what's a consequence or a result? Merriam-Webster defines consequence in a number of ways. 1. A conclusion derived through logic. 2. Something produced by a cause or necessarily following from a set of conditions. The economic consequences of the war. I'm bored of talking about this bit now, so let's look at some other parts of the picture, shall we? Below the 2 is what looks like a blasted cityscape. There are lots of plumes of smoke rising from lit streets. You can make out some roads. You can make out signs of civilization, but clearly a civilization that's undergoing some hardship. Now, this might be a bit of a stretch, we only have the picture to go on, but it is my theory, and it is just a theory at this point, that there is going to be a sense of conflict in Destiny 2. Perhaps something involving firearms, some sort of pitched battle, war even. We talked earlier about the economic consequences of a war. That's just one of the many consequences a war can have. Of course, sometimes people even get hurt in a war, and that's something that Destiny 2 may very well seek to explore. Notice the use of black and grey and orange and brown. There is a fiery motif here, a dark motif, a sort of darkly firesome motif that makes me think of less light than normal, and also hot things that burn. These are things that also can happen in a war, but notice also how the 2 and the Destiny are bright white, standing in stark contrast to the darkness below them, the obsidian, ethereal, tenebrous blackness below. This implies that Destiny 2 itself, and indeed the player's interactions throughout that adventure, will be a leading light, some sort of hope. Symbolism. Something to cling on to, okay? And behind the 2, we can take this even further. Behind the 2, you can see what looks like the outline of a planet. Now, what's all that about? Could we be moving to, indeed, could we be travelling to other planets within the Destiny universe? Now, the original Destiny already gave us so much that it's almost offensive to expect Bungie to produce more worlds, more lore, more history, more of an expanded universe. However, when we remember that this is a sequel, we also remember that other sequels in video games have expanded upon the original content. So, while my analysis of this situation is in its infancy, I can say with some degree of confidence, not 100%, but some degree of confidence, that we will see different planets, different worlds, indeed, different planets in Destiny 2. Emanating from the planetary imagery, we have various lines and circles. It's all very symbolic, makes you think of charts, Venn diagrams, things like that. I have no idea what any of that means, and so I think it's just useless noise. I think we can really ignore any of the symbolism that could be contained within the intricate geometry of the background imagery here. I think that's just noise, possibly a herring, dare I say it, of the red variety. And rounding out to this analysis of the image is this symbol here. Now, I'm not quite sure what that is. I have run checks, I've run all sorts of background checks on the origin of this particular part of the logo, and I've not seen it anywhere else in the records. It looks to me like a fat Y, which would make sense because it follows the Y in Destiny. So is this game actually, instead of being called Destiny 2, is it called Destiny 2? That's accounting for the fatness of the Y there, and the fact that there are 2 Ys, which would naturally elongate the last part of the word. E specifically, Destiny for 2 normal Ys, Destiny for fat Y. I don't know what the little thing in the middle of the Y is. Maybe someone's head. And that'll about do it for our analysis of Destiny 2's teaser image. I hope that you're all as hyped as I am. Indeed, I think it's time that we all started believing the hype and getting really pumped for Destiny 2, which I think is going to be one hell of a fantastic FPS MMO. And hey, that was the video. If you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe. That always helps the channel out. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at, I don't know, whatever, and Facebook. Just like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Yeah.